All right, let's talk about compound interest. You know, we all hear that term thrown around, but here's what nobody ever tells you. It's not just one thing. It's a journey with 7 totally different levels, and each one has its own math and its own psychological test. Today, we're going to walk through that entire map.
You know that moment? It happens to pretty much every investor. It's like 2 a.m., you're scrolling on your phone, you open your brokerage app for the 10th time that week, you've been putting money in month after month, and you just stare at that balance and think, is this even working?
And look, if you've had that thought, you're not crazy. From where you're standing in those early days, the math really does look, well, broken. But that feeling, that one little seed of doubt, is by far the most expensive emotion in all of finance. It's the exact reason most people give up right before things get really good.
So let's just reframe this whole thing. Forget compound interest. Think of it as a 7-level video game. And the brutal truth, most people quit on level 2 right before they unlock all the power-ups. So let's play through this game, level by level. So to see how this all plays out, let's imagine a really simple scenario. We're going to follow 2 brand new investors. Let's call them Casey and Jake. They start out with the exact same super straightforward plan. And when I say identical, I mean they are carbon copies. Both 23 years old, both putting in $500 a month, both investing in a boring, plain vanilla S&P 500 index fund. And we'll say they get the historical average of a 10% return. Nothing fancy here, no crypto, no stock picking. On day 1, their financial futures look exactly the same.
Okay, and this brings us to what is without a doubt the hardest, most psychologically painful part of his whole journey. This is the part where every fiber of your being is telling you this is a total waste of time.
So let's check in on Casey at level 1. In her first year, she puts in $6,000 of her own money. She logs into her account all excited, and what does she see? It grew by a whopping $283. I mean, come on. That's not wealth. That's a decent dinner for 2. At this point, her account is basically just a savings account with extra steps. And this is where the thought creeps in. Are you kidding me? I could have gone on a trip, I could have bought a new TV, I could have done literally anything more fun than watching my money grow by $283. But here's the secret. You're not building wealth yet. You're building a foundation. You're pouring the concrete. The problem is, a foundation just looks like a muddy hole in the ground for a long, long time. And this feeling, this great discouragement, it just gets worse as we hit level 2, the grind. Just look at the 5-year mark. Casey has painstakingly saved and invested $30,000, 30 grand. And her total growth on that money, less than 9,000. Meanwhile, her coworker is driving a new car, her friend is posting vacation photos from Italy, and her brain is screaming, "What are you doing this for?" And this is where we lose Jake. Around year 4, he looks at his account, sees about 30 grand in there, and he just thinks, you know what? This whole thing is a scam. He cashes out, he takes the money and puts a down payment on a brand new truck. And in that moment, it feels like the smartest, most logical decision in the world. But that one single decision, the one that felt so rational and so good in the moment, is eventually going to cost Jake over $3 million. He just can't see it yet. The entire game of wealth is won or lost right here, in this boring, frustrating, is this even working phase where you just have to trust the math. So while Jake is out there enjoying that new truck smell, let's get back to Casey. She didn't quit. She pushed through the boredom, she ignored the doubt, and now the math is finally about to start working for her in a big way. We've hit level 3, the spark. Sometime around year 10, Casey's account crosses this huge psychological finish line, $100,000. Hitting 6 figures for the first time, that's the moment you finally get a real signal that, okay, this thing is actually working. And you know, this gets at a famous idea from the legendary investor Charlie Munger. He basically said that getting to your first $100,000 is a total pain, but you have to get there because after that, the entire game changes. And boy, was he right. It takes Casey about 10 years to hit her first 100K. You know how long it takes to hit the second? About 5. Which brings us to level 4, and this is my favorite one, the tipping point. Look at this. By year 15, Casey has put in a total of $90,000 of her own money. But for the very first time, the growth from her investments, that's over $117,000, is now more than all the money she ever put in. Her money is now officially making more money than she is. Her portfolio is a better employee than she is. Okay, so from this point on, Compounding stops being this abstract idea and it starts to feel like actual magic. Casey's wealth is about to start looking like a hockey stick. And just look at this acceleration. It is absolutely insane. Remember, it took her 10 years to get to 100 grand, but by year 20, she's closing in on $400,000. Just 10 years after that, boom, level 6, she's a millionaire. And from there, it's just a blur. She hits level 7, autopilot, cruising past $3 million. And the craziest part, she hasn't done anything different. Still $500 a month, still the same boring fund. The math has just completely taken over. But I want to pause here at level 5. Because this is the feeling nobody prepares you for. Somewhere in those middle years, Casey's car breaks down and she doesn't panic. Her boss is a jerk one day and she doesn't spiral. She doesn't feel rich like on TV shows. She feels something so much deeper and so much better than that. She feels secure. That is a feeling most adults go their entire lives without ever experiencing. And speaking of which, whatever happened to Jake? Well, at age 48, he decided to get back into it. He's been putting in a few $100 a month. His current balance is about $14,000. He's basically back at level 1, telling himself he'll get serious about it once the kids are out of the house. So now we come to the end of the road. And when you see their final results side by side, it reveals the single most important and maybe most misunderstood lesson in all of finance. Okay, the final score. At age 63, Casey has put in $240,000 over her career. Her final net worth is over $3.1 million. Jake is also 63. His net worth is about $48,000. He's still working, hoping maybe he can retire by 72. That truck he bought back when he was 27, it was sold for scrap metal almost 2 decades ago. And here is the cruel, beautiful paradox of compounding. Those early years, the ones that feel totally pointless, the years that Jake gave up on, they are, without question, the most valuable investing years of your entire life. Not because of the money you're putting in, but because those first few dollars have the most time to grow. Compounding is doing its most powerful work precisely when it looks the least impressive.
And that's really what this whole thing is about. Building real wealth isn't about being a genius. It's not about picking the right stock or timing the market. It's about one simple but incredibly hard thing, just staying in your seat. Casey didn't do anything special. She just refused to get bored and do something stupid in year 4. That's it. That's the whole strategy.
So that leaves us with one final thought. The real skill here isn't financial, it's psychological. The hardest part of this whole game isn't earning the money to invest. It's not even saving it. The hardest part is having the discipline to ignore it for a decade or two while it quietly and kind of rudely refuses to show you what it's really capable of. The real question is, can you